You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Got questions about your hound's health? Need the facts on Fido's fitness or food? You want to unleash your pup's potential? Well, you've come to the right place because it's time to win with dogs. Here, we learn how easy it is to naturally improve the lives of our furry friends. So sit, stay, and get ready to win with dogs. With me, Raquel Wynn. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the new year. Gosh, it's been a long time since I've talked to you all out there. This is Raquel with Wynn with Dogs. Thank you for listening to Pet Life Radio. I am excited as ever to have this show be about something very close to my heart, which is helping dogs with pain and orthopedic issues. Many of you know that my book, Stretch Your Dog Healthy, focuses specifically, well, on a lot of things, but specifically on how to use a hands-on and natural approach to kind of help your dogs with pain and keep them longevity-wise moving and feeling great. So today's guest, I have with us Tamer Elsafy, and he has a background in nutraceuticals and vitamins. After graduating, I should say, from the University of Minnesota, he went in and started manufacturing all types of vitamins and nutraceuticals. And I find this fascinating, so we'll get to talk to him a little bit about it. But he branched off from the human component, like most of us work partly with humans and see the immense help it can do for our pets and our canines. He branched off and realized that the arthritis supplements that he had made were really working for the humans, so he decided to try it on pets. So we're going to talk a little bit about Flexpet, which is a glucosamine natural supplement that he has started with a special ingredient, CM8. And we'll get all into all this crazy stuff with him. Please don't go away. Tamer, hang tight. I had to have a long intro because it's been a long time since I've been on the mic. But we will be right back after this short break. Don't go away. Hey, don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back to Win with Dogs right after this quick water break.
It's time for school for you and your friends, your furry best friends. Train your dog the fun and easy way with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Teacher's Pet host Pia Silvani teaches you step-by-step how to train your dog the fun and easy way. You get 8 30-minute live audio training sessions, complete transcripts of each session, plus a basic training manual to get you and your dog off to a great start. Training begins the moment you bring your dog home. Teacher's Pet Sessions offers positive reinforcement training to shape your dog's behavior and encourages upbeat, enthusiastic responses to ensure that your dog will enjoy learning. Teacher's Pet Sessions dog training is fun at both ends of the leash. So listen, learn, and laugh with your dog with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Get your copy of Teacher's Pet Sessions Volume 1 today. To order, go to teacherspetsessions.com.
Hi, this is Pia Silvani, your host. Bring your dog, tug toy, and treats, and get ready to have some fun.
teacherspetsessions.com.
This valuable information comes from your pet. There's nothing like a wagging tail or friendly paw to lift your mood. They're therapeutic and make us feel good. Studies show pets even reduce stress, prevent heart disease, lower blood pressure, and fight depression. So there you have it. Pets are a daily dose of good health and happiness. Pets add life. To learn more, visit petsaddlife.org.
Hello! I'm Deborah Wolf, and I'm inviting you to my animal party on Pet Life Radio. The dress code? Come as you are. Pajamas, a tux. You can even go naked like your pets. Unleash your party animal at my animal party. Guests you know from Animal Planet, TV, radio, the news, and bookstores will be joining me. And that's because after I won Best Pet Radio in America from the DWAA, I got my paw in the door and I met a lot of amazing people. And the best of the best are going to be coming to the party. They're coming to party with us. So join us at the animal party. Don't miss the party.
Every week on demand. only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Thanks for hanging around. We're back to Win with Dogs with me, Raquel Wynn, on Pet Life Radio. Thank you guys for hanging tight. Tamer, thank you for being with us. I am so glad to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I understand that, a little bit close to your heart, you were working in the nutraceutical and vitamin industry, and a close family member of yours was experiencing some pain, and I imagine, like I have done, you were dosing her full of all kinds of vitamins, and it was kind of helping but not really doing anything. And this, I guess, led you to get more diligent in seeking out something specifically for arthritis and joint pain. Am I right? Am I on the right track?
You're on the right track, absolutely. It was actually mainly because of my grandmother that I started the Flexin, which is a human formula, and it just went from there. I did my research, being in the nutritional industry, and just kept researching and found this wonderful ingredient that I incorporated in the Flexin formulas and the Flexpet formulas.
Yeah, and you're talking about CM8, which I really do advise as much as you can get from good food, like eating stuff with good vitamins and not having tons of toxins in your foods that you're feeding pet. Number one, nutrition. Eating good, organic, well-balanced food is my number one kind of soapboxing theme. And then beyond that, I do wholeheartedly believe, like you, that you can add some nutraceuticals and some vitamins and different naturopathic, all natural remedies that really, really, really does help. And I work personally with dogs and humans with joint issues all the time. And apart from the stretching and massage, there really isn't a lot offered conventionally, with the exception of anti-inflammatories and steroids. And I don't know about you, but I feel like those aren't the best on the system. What do you think about some of the conventional treatments in terms of side effects?
Well, everybody knows about the pharmaceuticals and the drugs that have been pulled off the market because they were given heart attacks, and some of them have give you stomach problems. My own grandmother actually was on certain amounts of drugs because she had arthritis, and that's actually what led me to start my company, because of the fact that she was always taking drugs that were always giving her heart palpitations and giving her stomach problems, and she was throwing up from them. And I wanted to find something that was all natural, that was going to help her basically not just mask the pain and cut off the pain receptors, but also help help with actually nourishing the joints with those joint tissues and lubricating your joints and reducing the inflammation naturally. And I totally believe in that.
I absolutely do too. I always say the body is, wants to be in a state of healing. And, I am always amazed at just how the body does respond. Like you're talking about, issues of the stomach. I mean, eat some plain yogurt. Even you dog owners out there, give your dog some plain yogurt if your dogs are having stomach issues, or take some probiotics. I mean, these are all naturally occurring, safe, 100% risk-free things that you can do for your health that don't have the side effects. So I've always been like, Tamer's like, if it's not going to hurt and it's probably going to help, why not give it a shot?
I agree with you, because the body needs to heal. And what the drugs sort of offer is kind of a fake perception that your body is not in pain anymore, but yet it is, because once you get off those drugs, you're back right to square one. You're feeling the pain again. You really haven't corrected the problem or been able to nourish your body, nourish your joints, and really get it in a state of healthiness. That I've always believed in that, and there's documented facts regarding that. There's studies that have been done on that.
Of course. And also, along those lines, if you're just masking it and taking something that is minimizing the pain, a lot more damage is actually being done. And, we as a human society are in a go, Western, like, I can't rest, just give me a shot to make me go back to work. And unfortunately, our dogs are kind of on that same timeline. So I'm always trying to slow people down, give it some time. This isn't like a quick fix in terms of you're going to feel better in the next hour. But I guarantee you with nutraceuticals and natural approach, you'd notice like within days. It's not like it takes years for you to feel anything. So I'm with you on that. And arthritis, speaking of arthritis, well, I mean, that's what we're talking about, joint issues. You know, dogs are faced with 200 to 300 common diseases as humans. And we know that about 10 to 15 million dogs in this country suffer from joint pain. And, you know, it's a number of things causing it, in my opinion. Obesity, toxins in the food, not enough movement, you know, dehydration, you know, weekend warrior syndrome. All kinds of things are causing it. And arthritis is something that I think people need to be aware of how to even notice it on the onset, because prevention is all about catching things quickly. So are there any things that you feel kind of people can pay attention to and be alerted if their dog is suffering from some kind of pain of the joints?
Absolutely. If they're no longer running or jumping,
yeah.
they have difficulty walking on the stairs, if they're limping, obviously if they've gained weight, your vet will tell you this. If they're just less interested, they're lethargic, these are all signs that your pet is in pain or in trouble. They're obviously not going to tell you, but these are the signs that you could look for. Because generally, dogs are active animals, but as they age, they're going to slow down a little bit. But if you see them just really not doing anything, that's a sign that they're, limping is a big one, and walking up the stairs. All these things are very good indicators that your pet could be suffering from arthritis or any kind of joint issue.
Yeah, and, dogs, like you're saying, they're tough kind of too. They want to always do what's right for us. They don't want to let on if they're in pain either, is what I've found.
Right.
So, that's another thing. They're so sweet. Oh, little guys. But, joint pain, in my opinion, as a personal trainer, massage therapist, physical therapist, one of the keys to stimulating healing is actually, like you're saying, is lubricating that joint. And we know that movement is how the body heals. So some simple range of motion exercises lubricates that joint and allows it to get oxygenated and have circulation and all of that stuff. But I think that when you add an all-natural, like in your product, Flexpet, for any of you listening interested in, there are lots of different approaches, but Flexpet is unique in that it offers CM8, a unique ingredient. It also has glucosamine in it, which is important for lubricating the joints. But what I'm getting at on my long track there, Tamer, is in addition to some of the things we can do to provide movement and keep the joint hydrated from a rehab perspective, how important is it, do you think, to cue those cells that it's safe to heal with adding a supplement?
I think it's very important. It's so important. Your body needs nourishment, like I said that before, and if you have a joint issue, it's like your pet has joint problems, they need to get their joints nourished, and they will respond a lot better than a person will, because they're on a diet. They take what you feed them, so their diet is much more controlled. They will respond better to the Flexpet, to the CM8, and if you're giving them the glucosamine in there and all those other wonderful ingredients that we have collagen, the MSM, they will respond a lot better. There's no placebo. The dogs can't lie. They will not lie. I mean, you give it to them, you'll see a noticeable difference within a few weeks. They'll go from limping to walking again, to being happy, to exercising. Your dog will lose weight because now that they're more active, they're not in pain anymore. So you'll see them running around and stuff. The weight will come off naturally because they can be more active.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. I also, in terms of natural remedies, one of my favorite topics ever. I mean, you can add things like aloe into their diet, some aloe juice. That will also help lubricate the joints. But, what we're getting offered at our vet, and I love my vet, and I even go to a conventional vet, and I consult with a holistic vet too, but my dogs are like me. I don't really go to the doctor, unless I have some kind of traumatic thing. I let my body heal. I rest when I need to rest. I take certain, vitamins to help me through things, and I treat my dogs the same way. And unfortunately, I'm feeling like a lot of pet owners are turning to only their vets for pain issues, and I don't know that they're offering them that much in the way of solutions. Have you heard anything of I know that your business has like shot out the roof, which is a testament to the fact that it works, but I'm curious what kind of testimonials you're getting from some of the dog parents out there.
We've always been getting all kinds of testimonials. We get emails every day, letters every day, from regular, all pet owners that have given Flexpet to their pets and seen a dramatic difference. And it runs the gamut from, walking up the stairs, being able to run, getting up in their truck, all kinds of different things. And we've had a lot of news coverage on that, and the response has been overwhelming because of the fact that, the reason why we even transitioned to creating Flexpet was because of our Flexpet or Flexin brand. When we started that, the people that were taking Flexin were, seeing such a tremendous amount of relief and results from it that they basically just on their own started taking the capsules and opening them up and putting it in their dog dish. They're saying, well, if it's working for me, it's got to work for my dog. So that's actually how we transitioned. We were getting all these emails. They're saying, well, I'm doing this right now. Is there anything that you can do to create a pet formula with a chewable or something that looks like a treat that you can give to your dog? And we did that. So that was just an automatic thing. And then now we have the Flexpet now where all the dogs now are able to take it as a chewable or a treat, and it's been wonderful, and we've had such success with that.
That's great. I'm so glad that you are working in that area. I mean, I know that, I don't know, gosh, humans spent like, $34 billion on alternative remedies, and I know that some of the major pharmaceutical companies for animals are, cranking out, like I see Rimadyl for dogs and prednisone, and it's like, I'm probably going to get in trouble, but I tend to call it Rimakill. But not, if anyone's listening out there with Pfizer, I'm sorry.
That's a good idea. I should use that if I don't get in trouble for that.
Oh, good. But it's just dogs metabolize stuff so much faster, So I know that you're super proud of your product and what it's doing and glucosamine and all of that. But I want to take a quick break. But after that, I want to know what else you do personally with your dogs. I think one of your dogs is tiny. And
yes.
And you have a couple of dogs. And what else you do personally to ensure that they are healthy. So think on that a sec. You guys don't go away. I know that your pups are your best babies. So hang tight because we got some awesome alternative health info coming up. Hang tight. Don't go away. Hey, don't you go anywhere. We'll be right back to Win with Dogs right after this quick water break.
Greetings, humans. What planet am I on?
Welcome to Pet Planet. Here's a copy of Pet Planet Magazine, Florida's most informative and fun pet resource magazine. It features heartwarming stories and informative articles from local and national pet experts.
Excellent.
Pet Planet Magazine offers Operation Planet Rescue, helping rescued pets find new homes. And it's available at 500 locations in South and Central Florida and 24/7 on the internet at petplanetmagazine.com. If you're out and about with your pet, you may be featured in Paparazzi, candid pictures of you and your pet. For up-to-date pet-friendly events, activities, and pet-related services and products, Pet Planet Magazine is your final destination.
I shall take this magazine home with me.
Back to your home planet?
No, to my condo in Boca.
Pet Planet Magazine. Check them out at www.petplanetmagazine.com or 352-394-8578. It's out of this world.
Pets can be a wonderful addition to your life because they're a member of the family. Keeping them healthy and happy is important. Pet Life Radio presents The Pet Doctor with veterinary media consultant and veterinarian Dr. Bernadine Cruz. Whether you have a dog, cat, reptile, or rabbit, you'll find answers for your pets straight from the vets. The Pet Doctor, on demand every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Thanks for hanging around. We're back to Win with Dogs with me, Raquel Wynn, on Pet Life Radio.
Thank you for holding. We are talking with our acclaimed guest, Tamer, and his website, if you're interested in his stuff, is flexpet.com, flexpet.com. You can find out all kinds of info on it. And we've been talking about joint pain and osteoarthritis and even rheumatoid arthritis. In some senses, I would assume it would work for. But Tamer, I wanted to talk with you about what your regime might be to ensure that your dogs are healthy, besides just ensuring the joints tend to do.
Well, I basically put my dogs on a good diet. One of my dogs had arthritis, doesn't have that issue anymore, and it's just a little Pomeranian developed arthritis in their hind legs. Now, it's not very typical for Pomeranians to get arthritis, but usually you see that in German Shepherds and Great Danes and bigger dogs like that. They usually have the hip dysplasia, and that the Flexpet usually takes care of that problem. But with the smaller dogs, it's a little touchy. But this particular dog, which was tiny, is my little Pomeranian, and he had problems in his hind legs. He was scooting all the time, and I noticed it really from just his hair on the back was going away, and I noticed because he was just always scooting.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a scooting problem where there was a gland problem. It wasn't that. It was actually arthritis.
No, it was
when I
his
took him
sacrum probably.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was just he was having problems with that because he's just such a little dog with small legs, on the back. So I gave him the Flexpet, and literally and he's 11 years old, and that was like 2 years ago. Within probably 3.5 weeks, I noticed a big difference. He wasn't limping anymore. He was moving about pretty good. But the one thing I would basically emphasize is that if you notice your pet starting to be more active, you need to slow them down, because what happens is they get really overly confident and they can injure themselves. They need to kind of not get them really active right away, because they get really happy. They're like, well, I can do this now. Now they're running and doing all kinds of things, and then they take it for granted because they don't know. They don't know any better, and then they end up injuring themselves or breaking their leg or something. So you need to be very careful. When they get better, ease them into it, because they will start being aggressive and more playful and all that stuff.
Absolutely. Take a periodized schedule for sure. Periodize
exactly. Yeah, that's one thing I would recommend.
That's in my book too, by the way. That's also in my book.
Great, wonderful, yeah.
But
great.
So you talk about nutrition, and I love to talk about nutrition. What do you consider? What do you feed your dogs nutrition-wise? I go for organic meats. I even do greens.
I do everything organic.
Greens.
Even their dog food is organic. And there are organic foods out there that help with the joint function. So coupled with maybe the Flexpet and then the organic food, there's pet food out there that will help that helps with joints. They are out there, and they're all organic. I would definitely stick with the organic because their diet's better. There's no toxins in the food. It's much healthier for the dog.
Now, having said that, a lot of things say organic. So for those of you out there listening, you want to read those labels, and you do not want to see byproducts listed. You don't want to see, lots of chemicals, words that you can't pronounce. You want to see things like chicken, organic, rolled barley, organic peas. And I love to have a little bit of kibble and supplement my dog's diet with some plain yogurt, even some eggs, some spinach, all kinds of fresh vegetables. You can just, supplement it, because dog food, by the can or the bag is pretty calorically dense. So, you can add
some cottage cheese, some carrots, whatever, some meat, and, cut the kibble down if you're trying to get your dogs to weigh a little less, which we know is a big problem for arthritis, is obesity, big time. So I want... Yes. One last thing, because I'm a little bit of like a research nut, and I want to talk about this ingredient CM8. And I was doing a little bit of research, and I came across the same guy you did, Harry Deal, I guess is his last name. I can't pronounce anyone's last names today. And come to find out, he's an acclaimed chemist who worked for the National Institute of Health for the government, and he developed over 500 compounds and was one of the key guys in developing the compound that led us to many different vaccines, on and on and on and on. And he was amazed with the CM8, this ingredient that you decided to put in your product. And I'm just tripping out that to this day, it's not even listed in the manual, and it wasn't until 1994 that anything was published in the Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences. I don't understand why that is. I just don't get it.
Well, it's because, because it's a natural ingredient, and
I know.
You can't really patent an ingredient, so pharmaceuticals are not interested in it. There's no money in it. It's all about money.
I know.
It's sad. It's sad to say, but it's all about money. But this particular ingredient, this Harry Deal, which is a researcher, he was a researcher at NIH, the National Institute of Health, and he discovered that ingredient in the 60s.
Yeah.
And he discovered that a certain strand of albino mice were immune to arthritis. So he was able to extract that particular compound that he found in those albino mice and reproduce it naturally from natural resources like plant source.
Which makes so much sense to me, that he would look at okay, instead of going, I guess we are all just, breaking down, poor us. And then, why don't we look at the guys that are doing great? Even in families, you look at a couple, a sister side by side. One sister at 60 looks great. The other at 60 looks not so great. I mean, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't we studying what is keeping us young? Because you can't make money at it. I guess you answered it. But DHEA is another compound. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That is naturally occurring in our body. It's a precursor hormone that starts to diminish when we hit about 35 years of age. No one's really talking about it, and it's blowing people's minds what it's doing for bodies. And it's all natural. Right. It's safe.
Of course.
So, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So he discovered it in the 60s, and it wasn't until 1994 till finally they did a study and it made an impression.
It made an impression. And, it's pretty sad, but it took that long, and it wasn't until 1994. But it's not as big as glucosamine, because glucosamine, they had some kind of write-up on it, and in some kind of medical journal or whatever, some doctor came out and said, glucosamine is the way to go. And that's why glucosamine is a billion-dollar industry. But the fact is, glucosamine alone doesn't help the joints. Glucosamine is great for cartilage rebuilding. But if you've lost all your cartilage, it's not going to bring back cartilage. Forget it.
What about chondroitin? Do you have that? And what do you think about chondroitin?
Well, we have glucosamine, sulfate, potassium. And that's really what we found as the best type of glucosamine to have. Not the glucosamine chondroitin, but it's effective. We found that glucosamine, sulfate, potassium, which is the form of glucosamine, is probably the best that's out there, and it's very well absorbed in the body, and people take to it much better. We have also the MSM, the collagen type 2.
MSM is fabulous.
MSM.
Yeah,
fabulous.
That's great.
And
that's fabulous.
And the CM8, that's our main ingredient that was discovered by Harry Deal back in the 60s. And this is stuff that you could all research. I mean, you can type in harrydeal.com and you'll find you'll find cetyl myristate CM8 on Wikipedia. This is all documented stuff. It's not stuff that's made up. I mean, you can research the research that's been done on Harry Deal.
You're preaching to the choir here. Anyone listening to us right now is probably going to be drinking the Kool-Aid. But I'm like you. I want people to research. But you're so right. It's
don't take my word for it. Go out there and do your research. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's out there. This is not new, nothing new. I'm just bringing it out and saying, okay, I have this in my formula, and I've incorporated in there, and it's with all those host of ingredients. But you can do the research on Flexin, Flexpet, CM8, Hair Deal, all that stuff's out there.
And that'll all be on our website under Wynn with Dogs. Anyone listening to under the episode info, there'll be the links there for you. But that reminds me of a funny story. I still do a fair bit of work with humans and some pretty, high up there doctors, pretty prestigious doctors, and I am the one dusting off the cobwebs off their right brain, talking about, chakras and hands-on theories. Yet at the same time, I'm very, lettered in, anatomy, physiology. But it always makes me laugh that they don't ever perk those little ears up unless I say it was in the American Journal of Medicine, or they can't believe it unless it's in a study. I'm like, but don't you feel better that you're taking this? Well, yes, but there haven't been enough studies. I'm like, well, what about just how you feel? Doesn't that mean anything? So for those of you listening, skeptics or not, if your dogs are suffering from joint pain, please, you can do a lot of different things. You can start incorporating some light movement, moving the joints, just light, gentle massage, paying attention to their cues so that you're not making them uncomfortable. You can use moist heat, and that's your hands, or a warm washcloth if they're in pain. Then when you really want to get proactive about helping the body heal, start adding, changing up their diet. There's lots of info on my podcast about changing the diet and what things to, all sorts of anti-inflammatory foods if you really want to get going crazy that you can feed your dogs if you have time for that. Things like, salmon, tuna is great, broccoli, asparagus, all these things your dogs can eat, and you can write to me if you have any questions about that. And then to kick it up another notch, adding a nutraceutical like Flexpet is good. There's another great one, RegenaPet, out there I've tried, and that's a good nutraceutical company. There's also aloe is a great option. I think that's about it. So go to flexpet.com and you can read all about Tamer, and he has some blogs that you can read on. I've read about fibromyalgia and different sorts of pain, because I'm assuming, Tamer, this does help with general body pain that typically goes like undiagnosed. We know that if something's not acute, the conventional medicine's like, well, I don't know, come back when it's worse. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, So I assume this works for, just general malaise and pain issues in dogs too, which talk about hard to diagnose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anyway. Okay, any parting words before I have to leave?
Oh, so soon?
I know. I talked the whole time.
It went by pretty fast. We were having so much fun.
I know we were. I thank you for all of your research and what you're doing with dogs. And it's so rewarding, isn't it, to see a little puppy who was limping around, like with a big smile on his face, frolicking through the grass.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I just wanted to add, we also work with shelters. We've begun to work with shelters across the country. We started in Minnesota. It's called the Seniors for Seniors programs, where a lot of senior citizens are now adopting older dogs, and we provide Flexpet to the shelters because some of these dogs are in pain and stuff, and a lot of the senior citizens don't want a young, vivacious dog. They want someone that's a little bit mellow and things, but still healthy and still be able to walk and everything. So we have a great program now that we've started. So we were working with a lot of shelters with Flexpet and helping out and donating and things. So it's for a good cause too.
That's great. I love, it's great to make the adoptees look more attractive out there, because it is like a split second thing, It's like, oh, do I want that dog or not? If they're hobbling around, that's probably not going to help them. So that's great that you do that. Thank you for being a guest. And Mark, thank you for my hyperness, since I haven't done a podcast in a while. And I appreciate all you listeners out there. Thanks for listening to Win with Dogs on Pet Life Radio. Hope to have a great day. Remember, go out there and win with dogs. Until next time. Exercise, nutrition, interaction, and love make for one healthy, happy hound. Give yourself the gift of knowledge on demand every week right here at Pet Life Radio with me, Raquel Wynn, and Win with Dogs.